Rather well, yeah, I did rather well.
So you got a sort of natural bent for it.
Yeah.
Then it was foil.
I was purely foil,
Purely
yeah,
foil, yeah.
purely foil, and I had a bent for it, and so they elected me captain, and then I started out going for my varsity in the second year, right.
And then more intense bouting and lessons from Renee.
And the lessons became very intense.
Yeah.
Right. And you wouldn't get out of there without really being drenched in sweat.
How long do they last typically?
Fencing lesson could last as long as half an hour.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, that was tremendous. Yeah.
Did he still at that time, was he still strapping your foot down, or did he not?
Well, whenever you started making mistakes, he would make you strap your foot down.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then you would be bouting with the other varsity fencers.
You'd be bouting with the varsity fencers, right, in practice. And at that time, they were also introducing the pistol grip handle. And we were using the French handle. And I remember one of the captains during my sophomore year, Ray Franklin, had decided to go with the pistol grip, and Rene Perroy hated it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And he said, "Look out! You're going to make your movements too big." And he put me up against the captain, and he had taught me how to make very nice feint 1-2s. And then I had also learned how to make the counter, and so I beat Ray Franklin. And Ray said, "That's only because he gave them special training." You know. But Ray had fallen for that pistol grip with the great big movements, and if he caught your blade, you were dead.
Yeah.
But if he didn't catch your blade, and because he wasn't very mobile because of the way we were teaching at that time, boy, you could hit him.
Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So you were doing all right as a sophomore.
I was doing all right,
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm. But I was also running into some collegiate fencers who were pretty good.
Yeah. From other teams. You
From
mean?
other teams, yeah, right.
Anybody in particular you remember? Or?
Oh, I remember. Who was it? The top fencer from Columbia, who won the IFAs, and then he won the NCAAs. Bob something or other.
Mm-hmm.
I could beat the other Columbia guys, but I couldn't beat him.
Mm-hmm.
He was a lefty, and he was very well trained. He was better than I was. Yeah.
So were you beating the other Harvard guys? Were you the number one?
I was beating the other Harvard guys on the team. Yeah, right.
And then you were doing pretty well intercollegiately. So you were like, in a sophomore, you were pretty talented.
No, that wasn't until my junior year.
Junior year, yeah.
Sophomore, I was still really learning.
Yeah.
Right. No, I didn't. I held my own as a sophomore.
Yeah.
But I didn't really start coming into my own until my junior year. Right.
You know, I remember fencing you, and you had a kind of pretty cagey sense of distance and tempo. And I wonder if you developed that later when you were in New York.
That was later.
Or, yeah.
That was later. I was still concentrating on the handwork all the way through college. I was concentrating on the handwork, and it was only when I went to when I joined the New York Athletic Club that the Hungarian coach Oda Niederkirchner insisted that I start using more footwork.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's just go through Harvard. By the time you were senior, how were you doing? How were you doing the IFAs?
I was very good with the flesh, and so I was doing very well with the foil. What happened, though, in my senior year was that the two guys on the saber team were laid low by some kind of disease, and so Rene Perroy shifted me over to